she's like the best champion that you could have to represent China for the UFC because she's so fucking good, bro. Like,
Yeah.
Everywhere she comes out, she's in Australia. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Oi, oi. Like,
Yeah, I saw that.
Everybody loves her, bro. Like,
She's awesome.
she's amazing. Yeah.
And it's just when people show that like respect and that passion for like the art of martial arts, you know, like I mean, I think that's why I really love like Yuri so much because like is he the best? I mean, obviously now he got fucked up by Pereira twice. Like but
UFC 312. Recap. Had a bloody nose and a bloody kneecap. Allow us to introduce ourselves. We back. It's JP and Gator. And together they can be counted together to make one fully grown man. Hey JP, maybe you can cut that girly salad and then let your friend use it as facial hair.
your boy Jake Matthews, man. Jake Matthews is nasty, bro.
That's my guy, bro.
That's my dog. Say that right, Mom. That's my dog.
He seems like he checks all those boxes for someone that could definitely be a top 10 and to have a real fucking shot at being a champion, you know?
Yeah.
A lot of the taller fighters had problems keeping that range and really utilizing that. Not Nolan, man. From the fucking ground. I mean, I'm going to go back to it, bro. The off the ground fucking head kick. He had his range figured out. There's never any questioning that. And from all the fights from the first one where Thickness fought Topuria, longer dude, you could see he was fucking struggling to keep that range and fight at that comfortability.
His cardio could take over. Right hand for Topuria.
Nolan that whole time seemed to have that figured out, and the angles and all those different crazy strikes he was able to throw and like be proficient with really impressed me.
Yeah. His ability to basically use his range effectively, and then even when he wasn't quote unquote in his range, because Slavoklas was in his range, and he
changed up the strikes. Elbows, knees, and even his, like the grappling we saw from him was fucking nice.
It was
too,
impressive.
Man.
For being that tall to be able to wrestle like that,
Yeah.
it's pretty impressive.
Impressive. Very nice.
I didn't really know him. I wasn't really expecting too much from him, and to see him show out like that, it was a real shock.
Did that go the way you thought it was going to go? Nope.
Duplessis is a very deserving champion.
Absolutely.
Like, not even just the fact that he won the fight, but in the fact that he was still looking for the finish throughout the fight. Even though he was clearly up at the end of the fight, he could have just resigned himself to, let's just go for a takedown, wrestle this out. We could just, clinch it out. He was still throwing bombs, even in the 5th round, trying to end it. And I think that's championship worthy. And I just think that's showing respect to the sport. And he's basically saying, hey, not only am I the champ on paper, but I want you guys to now treat me like a champion because I fight like a champion. And I thought I was very impressed by his performance. Pretty unimpressed by Strickland on the other hand.
I'm not impressed by your performance.
Not only because when he broke his nose, I'm very impressed with the fact that he was even able to make it through the rest of that fight, because I don't think that there's a lot of guys that get their nose broke who have the composure to be able to do that.
Yeah.
But because of the expectations I have of Sean and because of the way that he talks, I do expect that from him.
Yeah.
I expect him to be able to fix his broken nose in the middle of a fight and continue because he talks that way. What I don't expect is for you to come out in the first 2 rounds and do absolutely nothing to establish your pressure. And that's where you lost the fight, because the way that you're going to win this fight versus Duplessis is to force all of those big movements out of him and back him up.
Yeah.
If you're just going to back up, come back, he's now just going to time everything.
I'll stay. I suggest you hit, sir.
I also like to live dangerously.
As you wish, sir.
And I feel like that works for Sean because usually his biggest advantage is his gas tank, his stamina. He wears people out. And I was impressed. The thing I was most impressed by Duplessis was that gas tank to throw those bombs consistently.
Well, and here's the thing about that, though. So there's part of that that's true that he does for a man his size and for the movements that he does, that he has the ability to do it. But if you notice, it's like big shot, rest. Mm-hmm. Big shot, rest. And the thing is, Sean's allowing him to rest. And that's where I'm disappointed. I'm like, Sean, you fucking know this game well enough to know that that's the one way you're going to beat this dude is to not let him have those gaps. But he just consistently did it. The only thing I can think of is he either resigned himself to that because he was scared of the power from Duplessis, or that staph infection was truly worrying him for his gas tank.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you something.
We don't care.
That just seems crazy to me.
Yeah, because he let Drankus get away with too much stuff where he could have. I mean, Sean's known for the jabs, and it felt
But
like
he's also known for pressure.
Yeah,
And he didn't pressure.
But-
He didn't lead the dance at all.
but he wasn't throwing those jabs in those open spots where normally he would have. You know, it seems like he did. He fights the same way. Everyone knows that. There's no shock, but it feels like he, like you said, was even more timid than that first time, than in his last fights. You know, and then like, I don't know.
And also might have something to do with Sean's style is very unique, and maybe it just Duplessis figured it out after fighting him and then studying the tape on him. There could also be some of that too. Maybe he just has a little kryptonite for him. I don't know.
It seemed like Duplessis improved a lot where Sean did not.
No, exactly. I was just not impressed by Sean. I thought that even in like, I get it. Your nose is broken, so far be it for me to criticize you, but like, you're the one that talks about all this stuff. Go bite down on your mouthpiece and try to get the finish. Like Duplessis was trying to get the finish in the 5th round.
Yeah.
And like that's to me, I'm just like, you're probably never getting a title shot again because of the way you performed in that title shot that a lot of people think you didn't deserve in the first place.
Yeah, he's got to have his next 3 fights. He's got to annihilate these people to get another shot. You know.
Yeah, impressively too. So, he'll still get his money and he'll still get some big time fights, but the likelihood that he's going to be back for a title is pretty low, I would think. You mentioned Jake Matthews. I am going to go with Teixeira.
Okay, yeah.
I thought he was super impressive.
That dude's crazy.
Yeah, I thought Tafo was going to basically take a few shots from this dude, get the range, and then in the later part of the first round, finish him off. I think I overrated Tafa, and I certainly underrated this dude. And also, he looked bigger than he did in the highlights I seen of him, of the basically tape I studied on this dude. He looked like he was a little skinnier than that before. It looked like he's put on weight, but not just put on weight, put on like healthy weight.
Look, why don't you go up the street and get something to eat? I know you hungry.
He was impressive. His lightning fast. And then one thing that stood out to me about what he said was, I knew that as soon as I backed him up, he was going to drop his head.
Yeah.
And to me, that's the sign of an intelligent striker because you're basically now playing chess.
That will do it just like that. What a debut for Chicago. Talented Teixeira.
When that shows that he studies his opponents.
Yeah.
You know?
Not only that he studies his opponents, but he's thinking another move ahead, right? So it's like, I have a setup ready. It's so much easier to load something up and hit somebody with it when you know it's coming. You don't have to react. That split second means everything.
Yeah.
And so if you have it in your mind to have that gun going, you're going to, and that's what happened. And Tafa can say what he wants about that fight being stopped a little bit early, but I saw the replay of it.
You are coping and seething.
That dude had a good second and a half walking away before Tafa was even putting his hands back up. He didn't even know that he was gone.
Yeah, no, I don't think there's going to be any complaints about that. And I was impressed by, in the short time of that match, the versatility. You know, from striking on the feet to the takedown. Foregoing that, pushing him back, he was throwing like punches, elbows, knees. He unloaded an arsenal in that short period of time.
Yeah, he did.
And it's nice to see a heavyweight fight end in a knockout.
Man, you should have been bobbing and weaving. Look at you. Get up! Yes, you ain't. Gemini, take this root. Big whip, mama.
Everybody said coming into this card sucked. And they thought this card was going to be shit. And it turns out this was actually an interesting card.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of cool shit that happened. And this is what I was trying to tell people before the fight started, because the narrative was there's only 2 fights that are ranked fighters fighting each other, and they're the main and the co-main event. Newsflash, everyone. Those were the 2 worst fights in the card.
I told you so, but you had to go.
Were they not?
Yeah.
I mean, there was maybe not the 2 worst, but they were certainly in the bottom 4. Like all those 2 were in the bottom 4 fights on the card. There were so many other fights that were exciting and delivered and had all this action, and at the highest level. Don't get me wrong, I love to see Weili Zhang do her thing. I love to see Dricus Du Plessis do his thing.
OC! OC! OC, OC, OC!
Very effective. That's a good shot. Yep, one of the more significant shots in that rear range. Sean Strickland's nose.
But Sean didn't bring that fight back like he needed to. And Tatiana Suarez, bless her, but she didn't have it. No. She didn't have it. She had it in round 1 for 4 minutes, and then the rest of the fight was Weili Zhang.
Huh? You want to be daddy? Said it. Number 2, you want to wear the daddy pants? Huh? You gonna cry? You gonna cry? Huh? Huh? You gonna cry? You gonna cry? Huh?
What are you?
Huh? You're gonna squirt some? You gonna cry? Huh? Yeah. See, you're gonna cry, huh? You're a big man now, huh? Yeah.
And it wasn't competitive from there on. It was just kind of like from there on. I almost started feeling bad for Tatiana. I'm like, she's getting her ass beat,
Yeah.
So, that to me was the story, is that everybody thought this fight card was gonna suck, and
Wrong.
So.
Yeah, and a lot of people, it's because they're more unknown fighters, but guess what? That's how you get these up-and-coming people, you know? Like, you have
This is how you get them known. Okay, so check this out. This is a point I made, too. I said, look, because the narrative was that there was only so many ranked fighters. Okay, I enjoy watching Dana White's Contender Series as much as I enjoy watching anything else. I just like watching a competitive fight.
Yeah.
And, like, people that are qualified to be fighting each other with good skills. I don't want to see 2 people that are competitively fighting if they have no skills.
Yeah.
I also don't want to see 2 people with high skills fighting if one of them has way higher skills than the other person.
Yeah.
I want to see 2 high skilled people fight, whether that's amateur level high skilled or whether that's professional level high skilled or anywhere in between. As long as we're erring on the side of above amateur, that's okay.
And I'm bi-curious. And even that's okay.
There's supposed to be something that everyone's doing, right?
Yeah.
What's the next thing? Okay, well, after this, what does Du Plessis do next? Okay, after this, what does Strickland do next?
Yeah.
When you watch the Dana White Contender Series, why is that so awesome to watch? Because these guys are fighting for their opportunity to just get into the UFC.
Yeah.
Think about that. We're watching the UFC where you're watching guys fight each other, and some of them are getting knocked out, some of them are thinking about retiring, some of them don't want to be there anymore. There's a whole other show where people are fighting for the ability just to get that opportunity to be in that.
You will never get this. You will never get this. La 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 la. Here behind this cage, crazy, crazy. Everybody laughs. You go. You never get this.
There was a time where Sean Strickland wasn't ranked.
Yeah.
There was a time where Du Plessis wasn't ranked.
100%.
There was a time where Weili Zhang wasn't ranked.
Yeah, and people are probably saying the same thing. Like,
right?
Oh, this card fucking sucks.
Exactly.
And little do they know, they had fucking future champions on those cards.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
And, I mean...
1,500 years ago, everybody knew the Earth was the center of the universe. 500 years ago, everybody knew the Earth was flat.
Imagine what you'll know tomorrow.
how does that narrative even make sense when you have they're literally putting on events every fucking week or every other week at the worst.
Yeah.
And all the fighters eventually fight. So at some point they're gonna fight. It's just gonna stack it more for other cards or not for others. Like, what is the obsession with just that ranking number has to be there? Like,
it's the hype train, and then that's with all fighting sports.
What does that have to do with anything?
No, he's got a point.
So Tatiana Suarez and Weili Zhang just fought.
Mm-hmm.
We now know their level difference.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you see somebody that fights Tatiana Suarez in the future, and we're wondering, is this girl going to be somebody that can beat Weili Zhang?
Mm-hmm.
We now have a very good reference if she fights Tatiana Suarez about where that line is.
Oh, yeah.
Where does she compare? So,
Oh, yeah.
So all of these fights, all of these things, they have their place and they have their matterings in the story that's being built. Ultimately, the story is going to be who is champion, who wins the championship, who. What's crazy is Yan Xiaonan is supposed to be a really good striker as well. She's from China. Weili Zhang fought her last time. The total strikes, Weili Zhang 256 for 327. Yan Xiaonan 73 for 116.
Insane.
She's so fucking good.
Insane.
I got a fight for you. How about this? Did any of those names that I said right now pique your interest at all?
No.
Do you think any of them give her any problems at all?
No.
Me neither. How about go up to 125 and fight Valentina Shevchenko?
That'd be sick.
That would be fucking sick.
That would be sick.
Right? Yeah. And then why not? Who is Valentina gonna fight? I mean, you got to match up the goats when you get the chance. You're talking about these are goat girls.
Yeah.
Right?
That one would probably be the best. And not only the best route for like us as fans to see a actual competition for Weili, but like for her legacy as well, because you go up and get a shot at another belt, and then you're doing big dog things for women UFC.
I don't even know what the odds would be on that, bro. That would be crazy.
Okay, now let's try to get an answer from someone who's not a complete retard.
Who does Duplessis fight next?
Probably Khamzat.
Khamzat?
Probably Khamzat.
Do you think... Who do you favor?
Duplessis.
You think Duplessis beats Khamzat?
Mm-hmm.
How do you think it happens?
Probably a knockout.
Do you think Khamzat shoots like real soon?
Not immediately. I think Khamzat will try to stand with them for a little bit, but I feel like Duplessis, seeing him fight against Strickland, who is objectively like the best defensive fighter in the UFC, and still get like a bunch of good licks off on Strickland. I think Khamzat's a great fighter, not as defensively sound as Sean Strickland is.
So you don't think that like he would, because Khamzat to me he shoots like very quick in fights.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's another thing.
2 very boring minutes later.
It's really just going to come down to when he shoots, which he would shoot, what happens.
Yeah.
How does Duplessis handle that shot?
I think Duplessis...
Because Duplessis is nasty in his jiu-jitsu.
He's really good, and he's really fucking strong. I think he's going to be the bigger guy than Khamzat, where I feel like Khamzat is...
going to be quicker.
He could be. Well, yeah, because fucking Dreykus isn't a fast person. But I think he's awkward enough to give Khamzat enough issues, and I think he's got enough strength to give him issues in the fucking whole grappling ground game. I think Duplessis is going to, because like every fight goes, start standing. I think Khamzat's going to try to trade with him a little bit. I think Duplessis might catch him once or twice, Maybe not even huge hits. Khamzat's going to shoot. I feel like Duplessis is going to be able to handle that, and I feel like he's going to have a big advantage.
For some reason, I just have this image of Khamzat getting the back of Duplessis and choking him out.
Yeah, that could happen too.
Right?
Oh, scary. Oh, shiver my timbers. Shut up, man.
Khamzat's definitely going to go for the takedown and try to win by out wrestling him and ground and pound and shit like that. I feel like Duplessis, I've doubted him enough to stop doubting him, you know?
Yeah.
Kind of like the whole Merab thing where there's been a couple fights where I was like, I don't know about Merab. I don't know about Merab. And Merab keeps doing great things. So I'm going to stop betting against Merab.
Nasty right for Dwellis Willie late. Play into the crowd.
I'm going to stop going against Duplessis.
For real.
Yeah, I fight like somebody on the short bus, but you look like the driver.
You know, there's a couple fighters like that where I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. And they keep just fucking proving me wrong. And guess what? I'm on their side now.
I like this one.
I haven't seen Dricus not have a great game plan yet.
Yeah.
Like everybody talks about what does Dricus do well? What does Dricus do well? I'm going to tell you right now what Dricus does well. First of all, he's willing to die.
Yeah.
That's number one. So he is not scared. He's not at all going to back down or like be intimidated. He keeps his composure no matter what. He has fucking oversized hands.
Yeah.
And he's throwing boulders. So while he doesn't have like a perfect technique for jabs or anything else, he has like these certain weapons where he's just looking for you to enter into a certain range for him to fire those really tough. And like all those weapons are lethal.
And it's not even him waiting for you. He forces that range and forces those counters a lot. He throws a lot of wild shit that gets through, you know? And, I mean, those left leg kicks, man, or left head kicks were fucking quick, too, man.
Yeah, they are quick.
He's just, like, everyone I've heard, fight him, they're like, he's fucking awkward. Like, the guy's just an awkward fighter. It's hard to catch that timing and catch that rhythm on him and stuff like that. And, like we could see with he beat Adesanya, who's arguably one of the best strikers in the sport.
What?
He beat Whitaker, who's a fucking tough motherfucker.
Give me a hell yeah!
So did Kamzat. I feel like Dricus is just a strong motherfucker with a crazy fucking, he just got an iron jaw, man. He don't want to go down. He's just tough, like you said. He's willing to die, and he's a big boy, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I've ever seen Dricus get taken down and be held down or anything.
Yeah, he's never really been manhandled like that. He's just strong, you know.
And I will not be bullied by that.
But I think that about wraps it up. Gator, any final thoughts before we get out of here?
You know what, man? Everyone, enjoy a beer every once in a while.
Yeah, man. Don't be a pussy.
You know? Just fucking have fun.
Yeah, just have fun, dude. And, try to shoot my basketball. Peace out.